Okay, here's the problem we had to do in class on Wednesday at the end of class, and here is the complete solution for it. This basically is in three parts. The first part is we have to find yc, which is the complementary function, which will be the general solution to the homogeneous linear differential equation. And the second thing we have to do is we have to find yp, which is the particular solution to this particular non-homogeneous linear differential equation. And we do that by by finding the differential operators that will annihilate the right side, therefore turning this into a homogeneous linear differential equation and solving it the same way we do as finding yc. And then the third thing we have to do is find the find the coefficients basically uh, in this particular problem. So our yp is not just another general solution, but it's actually a particular solution. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set 2y double prime minus y prime minus y equals 0. The auxiliary equation is 2m squared minus m minus 1 equals 0. And I do believe that this is 2m plus 1 times m minus 1 equals 0. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative, yep. And so m is equal to negative 1 half and 1. Okay, so now if we go back over here, that means that y is equal to some c1 e to the negative 1 half x plus c2 e to the x. And so this here is our yc. Now it should be noted that when we find yp, you're going to find yc as well, by the way. Okay. Okay, so now let's talk about our differential operators. We are going to annihilate 3e to the 2x and 4x squared. Okay, so the question is, what annihilates each of these? Well, here, the 3 doesn't come into play, but this 2 does. This is alpha. Alpha is equal to. So therefore, that means that d minus 2 annihilates 3e to the 2x. And here, our n is 2, so we have to add 1, or this is n minus 1 if you think of it that way. So this would be d cubed. Okay, so therefore, to annihilate the sum of both of them, you would just do the product of the separate annihilators. So it's d cubed times d minus 2. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take this into our original equation, and we're going to do this to both sides of our original equation. It's going to make the right side go to 0, and then we have to solve a new left side. Okay, so we're going to d cubed d minus 2 the left side, which is y2, y double prime minus y prime minus y. Okay, and this is going to equal d cubed times d minus 2 times the right side, which was 3e to the 2x plus 4x squared. Okay, now what does this leave us with? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor the y out of this here, factor the y out, and write it as differential operators. So this is d cubed times d minus 2 times 2d squared minus d minus 1 times y. And this is going to equal 0 because this annihilates. Now we have a new homogeneous linear differential equation, and now this is what we're going to have to solve this one here. Okay, well, of course, you see that m is already negative 1 half and 1 from this part, which we found earlier. So we have that here as well, but now we have more answers. We have from here, we have 2, and then from here, we have 3 zeros. Okay, so then if you were to write this all out, this would be negative c1, negative c1e, c1e to the negative 1 half x plus c2e to the x plus c3e to the 2x plus c4 plus c5x plus c6x squared, because these, of course, are the repeating zeros. So if you notice, this is yc, and all of this is yp, and this is what we have to solve for. Okay, now I'm going to let this be a. let this one be B, let this one be C, and let this one be D, because it's easier to write than all of these C3, C4, C5, C6s. So what we have to do now is we have to put this back into the original equation. Okay, the original equation was 2y double prime minus y prime minus y is equal to 3e to the 2x plus 4x squared. So this means we have to find both derivatives of this here. So yp is equal to a e to the 2x plus b plus cx plus dx squared. So yp prime is 2a e to the 2x plus c plus 2dx. Yp double prime is equal to 4a e to the 2x plus 2d. Okay, and now we're going to put all of this into, all three of these into our original equation. And so we'll do that next. Okay, so we have 2y double prime. So 2y double prime is going to be 2 times 4a e to the 2x plus 2d minus y prime, which was 2a e to the 2x plus c plus 2d minus the original, which was a e to the 2x plus b plus cx plus dx squared. And this all equals 3e to the 2x plus 4x squared. And we have to solve for all of these. So I think the best way to do this, to solve for all of these, is to find the e to the 2x coefficients. Okay. Find the x coefficients. Where are the x coefficients? Here. Find the x squared coefficients, which is here. I think that's the only one. And then the constant coefficients, which is here, and these two, and this one. And then we'll set that equal to the ones on the right side. Okay. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do the e to the 2x first. So it looks like for e to the 2x, we have an 8a minus 2a minus a e to the 2x. This equals 3e to the 2x. So this is 6 minus 5 is 4. So this is 4a is equal to 3. So it looks like a is equal to 3/4. Okay. Now let's do our x squared terms. So our x squared terms, it looks like we just have a negative dx squared is equal to 4x squared. So that means that d is equal to negative 4. Okay, now let's do our x terms. And it looks like our x terms is just this negative cx. So it looks like negative cx is equal to 0x. So that means c is equal to 0. And then we'll do our constants. So for our constants, we have 4d's minus a c minus 2d minus b is equal to 0. Well, we can put some of the stuff we already know in. D is negative 4, so this is going to be negative 16. C is 0. Negative 16 plus 8 minus b is equal to 0. So this means that b is equal to negative 8, I do believe. Okay, and there we got it. So we have our C, our D, and our A. So now we just have to put this back into our original equation, which I don't have here anymore. So y is equal to C1 e to the negative 1/2 x plus C2 e to the x, I do believe, was the complementary function. Now let's put these in. plus 3/4 e to the 2x, that's a, well, minus, and then 8. C is 0, and then finally d minus 4x squared. And that is the final answer. Thank you very much.